more can be traded. My heart's have been spaded. I'm not too prideful to up and leave. You've been all complacent. The tides have been changing. Love is just patience, and for you.
What's up, bookish babes? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys all the books I read in November. I didn't read much this month, and although I've been filming content like crazy majority of November, I feel like I didn't read anything but, well, I'm not even gonna say I didn't read anything because I feel like I read this set amount of number of books I read every month, which is like 7, and I don't think I remember any of them. That was crazy. Like, I was watching a video while I was editing the video, and I showed my books that I read, and I was like, dang, I read that book this month. And when I was creating the stack, I felt like I left a book or so off, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm going to share with you guys all the books that I read in November. Well, it was like 2 of them I read at the end of December, and it kind of rolled into November. I'm saying the end of October, and it kind of rolled into December, the 1st or so, I think, when I finally finished the book and end the video. But yes, let's go ahead and start on the stack. The first book is The Ed Text. I ended up giving this book a 3.75. I really enjoyed this book so much. It was good for the season. I read this like around Halloween, like exactly like probably like the day before or on Halloween. I read this. It was pretty good. It's basically about these witches who curse her ex, and that's it. I'm pretty sure you guys seen this book. You probably even read this book. I'm just late to the game of reading it. I decided to read this year, so I did, and I'm glad I got it off of my physical TBR. So yeah. The next book I end up reading, although now first of all, let's state that these are not in order. They're just how they were stacked on my stand. I just grabbed them and brought them over here. The next book was Heartless by L.C. Silvers. I gave this book a 4.75. I'm obsessed with Cade. Daddy Cade. I'm obsessed with him. He does no wrong in my eyes. Well, of course, I only read Flawless in this one, but so far, out of Red and Cade is my favorite. I love a good single father trope because I feel like the single fathers does it all. Like, girl, first of all, I feel like it's something about single fathers that get down and dirty. They get down and dirty, girl. After I finished reading this book, I was considering knocking on all my neighbors' doors and asking them, do they need a nanny? Because dedicated. But every time I think about this book, I just want to reread it. It's just, if you haven't read the Chestnut Spring series, make sure you do so, just so you can read about Dedicated, because chef kiss. And I love Willa. First of all, Willa, I love Willa. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. I may end up reading the rest of them soon. I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. We're gonna see when I get to Powerless next, because I think that one's about Sloane and Jasper. Yeah, I think that's what that book is about. And I don't know, they just didn't give me interesting for the little peep that I read. Well, Jasper is kind of mysterious. I want to know what's going on with him and how he ended up living with the Eaton brothers. Eaton brothers, I think that's how you say his last name. I want to know how he ended up living with them on the ranch. So I do want to know his backstory. So I'm going to pick up that book soon and read. Oh, I'm not going to say soon, but I'm going to pick it up soon or later. Let's say that. The next book I read was Blood and Honey. It is the second book that comes after Serpent and Doves. I enjoyed this book. I always have this problem where I don't know how to explain the second book in a series because I don't want to ruin it for anybody. But it's basically, we're just going to explain the first one. It's basically about Lou and Reed. Lou is a, I guess you can say like a high guard, or like I don't forget what they call him, but he's like a guard for the kingdom of sorts. And Lou is a witch, and he's set to believe that all witches are bad and only females can be witches, and that he should kill all witches. And he ended up being forced to marry a witch, and he ended up finding out later on in the book, first book, that she was a witch, and that not only she was a witch, but something else. And then, like, it was just so much. Now that I think now that I think about what happened in these books, I'm just like, this man was taking blow after blow after blow. Like, it's just crazy. He had a whole life-changing experience within, I want to say, 2 3 weeks, if that's how this book was placed. I don't even know the timeline of this book. He just had a whole bunch of changing for him within 2 to 3 weeks of meeting this girl and being forced to marry her. It was a lot. I think I would have went insane. I think I would have lost my freaking mind, because it's like a lot going on. Like, he's literally fighting for his life out here in these streets. Well, in them streets. Because, yeah. The next book is The 7 Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I read The Dead Romantics finally, and then I decided to read The 7 Year Slip. And first of all, I think any book that she puts out from now on, I'm reading, because I was obsessed with The Dead Romantics. I am obsessed with The 7 Year Slip. It's basically about this girl named Clementine, who auntie owns this apartment in the Upper East Side of New York. I think it was New York. And it was magical. I always thought her it was magical. Like, anytime you go in, you'll slip 7 years back into the future, where she meets, what was the guy name? I don't know. She meets this guy that was in her aunt's apartment, and she finally found out that her auntie wasn't lying, and that this place was magical. And anytime she leaves, it's the same time, but when she go back in, it's a different time. 7 years, and she meets the guy. It's just, I love this book. This book was so freaking good. Like, I wasn't expecting this book to be so good, but it was amazing. And I suggest everyone to read The 7 Year Slip if you haven't, because another chef kiss. So that's that on that. The next book, I'm just so happy I read this book, because it is a Powerless by Lauren Roberts. She finally, well, I purchased this off of Amazon, but it's now in stores in hardcover, and I'm obsessed. This, let me let you get a close look. If you haven't read Powerless by Lauren Roberts yet, please do so. This book is so good. It's so high stakes. It's so, the banter between Peyton and Kai, the Prince Kai, is crazy. I absolutely love them. The way the book ends, I cannot wait to read the next book. I think it come out in like May or June of next year, which is crazy to me. And it's called Reckless. This is like my newfound personality right here. I'm obsessed with this book. This book right here is everything. If you have not read this book, please read it. The banter, the high stakes. Peyton has to go through a trial. It's the weeks and the ordinaries. The ordinaries. It reminds me so much of Red Queen. If you know, I am obsessed with Red Queen. It reminds me so much of Red Queen now that I think about it. It's basically the elites and the ordinaries. The ordinaries are basically, like they say, ordinary human beings, no powers or anything. And the elites feels as though the ordinaries deserve to be dead, because they're bringing disease to the lands. So Kai is the newfound enforcer of his family. His brother is to gain the king crown after his father passed. So his brother's become king. Kai's the enforcer. So he's been given the job to go out and kill anyone who's harboring, well, any ordinaries, and send the people that's harboring the ordinaries across this desert, where they're gonna end up dead, dying anyways, because they don't supposed to make it. But anyways, he ends up doing that. He ended up going into town to take care of some business, and he ends up getting attacked, where he meets Patience, who end up helping him, and she's end up being voted to participate in this year's purging trials, where she has to go up against elites with powers. Peyton, for some reason, don't have any powers. She's an ordinary. They don't know that though. They think Peyton's a psychic, but Peyton is not. Peyton is an ordinary. But this book, so good. If you haven't read it yet, I suggest you grab it and grab a copy and read it. The next book that I read was Kingdom of the Curse. I've been trying to get to this book for the longest. I read Kingdom of the Wicked a while ago. Like, I want to say like 2 years ago or so. Maybe 2 years? Has it been 2 years? I feel like I read it 2 years ago. And I just now picked this one up. Mainly because she came out with a book for Envy. And I want to know Envy's story. So I decided to dive back into the series, finish off a Raph series, then I'm going to dive into Envy's. So I read this one. I gave it a 4 stars. I love Raph. First of all, Raph does no wrong in my eyes. Raph does no wrong in my eyes. I'm obsessed with Raph. I love Raph. I would marry Raph. Oh, girl is getting on my nerves. She was getting on my nerves. She was really bothering my spirits, because everything she got, she was like, well, then we're not married yet. We're not married. Like, girl, shut up. Oh, never mind. I finna start singing the song, but yeah. But the song that I was thinking about goes with what I want to tell her. So, yeah. But I gave this a 4 stars. I love Wrath. I don't know. It's just something about him. It's just something about his demeanor. It's just something about, he got very much big energy. So, yeah, I read this. I gave it a 4 stars. I don't know when I'm going to dive into the next one. So, maybe 2 years later, I'll be back on saying that I'm reading Kingdom of the Fear. Then I read this bad boy right here. This was my most anticipated read of the year, and I am so disappointed. Now, let me not say I'm disappointed. Well, I am disappointed. It just wasn't giving, like, okay, the first 2 books was so action packed. They was doing everything. Like, they was going places. They was solving riddles. Well, not really riddles, but they was like doing everything. They was going to balls. They was doing, like, it was just so much going on in the first 2 books for this one to come out and be like, yeah, we're gonna chill. Like, it's like it got, like, I want to say like 70% through the book, nothing was going on, but when you got to the end, that's when everything was just like, okay, well, this happened and this happened and this will happen and this will happen and this happened and this. No, you should have spread that out through the book. I got this book a 4 stars, and I think I'm gonna, do I want to leave it at a 4 star, or do I want to give it a 3.75? I think I'm gonna leave it at a 4 star, but it just didn't do it for me like the rest of the books did. Like, The Ballad of Never After, I gave that book a 5 stars. The Once Upon a Broken Heart, I think I gave it like a 3.75. This really disappointed me because I wanted so much more from this book. But yeah, those are all the books that I read in the month of November. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And comment down below and let me know what some books you read in this November. It is November. That you read in November. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.
I'm calling bullshit. Say you got it, but you ain't got nothing. Bad bitches don't say shit.